I hope we have a lot of fun listening to this project. You know, it's been a while since there was a full Young Thug album. Beautiful Thugger Girls was mid 2017. Jeffrey surprised a lot of people. You know, you got the Barter tapes. He's got a lot of projects out basically that I found some enjoyment out of. But I'll be honest with you, 20 tracks scares me. Hour-plus long albums scare me in an era where we know short albums do really well and generally sound better. Another thing that scares me is how strikingly similar the album cover art to this album looks to Quavo's Huncho project. And that album gave me tremors. Seriously, either we as black people need to develop more styles or rappers are really making us all look the same. But I'm putting my trust in Thug and hopefully we get something entertaining. We got track number 1, Just How It Is. That's great, you know? Just tell me what's on your mind. I don't need nothing that deep. Just tell me why you did it. Why'd you put on the dress? I was hiding the stick. I didn't want the ops to know I was carrying. That's all. You explained it all. Longer than its runtime. Wheezy on production. We got, you know, those flutters in his voice that make Young Thug, and you know that's the entertainment value in his rapping to me, is just how easily he can go into different vocal inflections. Like, it's effortless while he's rapping, and he does it better than any other rapper out right now. It's something that's really underrated and appreciated, or should be appreciated. Because there isn't an artist that can do that. There are, but they're not doing it, is what I mean. And Young Thug's kind of perfected that style and given his voice a melody while doing it. It just sounds so authentic and like he's honed in on it. You know, it's like, it sounds really well. It sounds really good. The beat, the instrumental, it does get a little stale. It is just, you know, drops, and I don't know. I felt like I was hearing strings at some point. I don't remember. I'm already out of it, but he really just told it like it is. That's pretty much it. Where he came from, what he's doing now, and that's it. Track number 2 is Sup Mate. I'll never do that voice again. What does this beat sound like? Alright, I get it. This is another instrumental. It sounds like another instrumental. Alright, I'm not gonna lie. That track was boring. It might have been one of those tracks from Metro Boomin's Without Warning with 21 and Offset. It might have been that. I still can't remember though. I'm not 100%. Yeah, Future's performance was just so like blah. You heard it a million times. Too generic. Track number 3 is Ecstasy. I don't know what the fuck going on, fam, but I like it. Oh yeah. Lift it up. Oh, Bankroll Fresh. No, his background vocals are making this song great and so haunting. That's what I need from Thug right there, man. Like just some smooth vocal acrobatics. You doing your thing. That was some very heavy bass knocking back and forth in my head. Really haunting, kind of sound video game like. I don't know what synth that was in the beginning, but like all of that for that track just worked. It was just a dark instrumental. You know, I'm a fan of dark beats. I'm a fan of dark rapping. You know those people that say they don't smoke weed because it makes them paranoid? That's kind of what that track was, in my opinion. Like, I could imagine someone, this would be the track playing, like that paranoia, like, oh my god, what the fuck did I just take? Track number 4, Hot. I don't think that's a flute. It might be a piccolo. I'm not sure. Are they changing the pitch of that? Because that's cool. That's a cool effect right there. Again, I'm paying zero attention to what Gunna is saying. I like this track, you know, no thanks to Gunna. Didn't Turbo produce a lot of the tracks off of Drip or Drown too? And that to me is kind of what this is reminiscent of. It's very echoey. It's very watery. You know, Gunna likes to talk about his drip all the time. And Young Thug came into that track like he was a shark swimming into the shore. It's like he just came to the surface and now he's here, like he's dripping or something like that. It feels like that. It feels like a track that I would hear off Drip or Drown too. It also feels like a beat that would be produced by T-. Like, but I love what Young Thug is talking about. Like, you know, I birthed this style. I'm the father. You're getting this from the guys that I put on right now, you know. And if you guys want to know the disparity, like my issue with, you know, why Gunna raps the way he raps and he doesn't do it like Young Thug, is this track is a big example of that. The vocal effects and the animation in Young Thug and just the versatility where he's able to go, the pockets he's able to hang in versus Gunna, it is so much more apparent, the skill gap there to me. And that's pretty much just why, you know, it in a lot of ways just strikes me as counterfeit Thug. But yeah, that track was cool, man. I could play that again. Track number 5, Light It Up. Light it up, light it up, light it up. That's enough light in the room, man. I don't know what else you want me to fucking do. Light it up, light it up, light it up. Yeah, and on some tracks it just doesn't fucking work at all. Yo, from a technical point of view, he got Gunna on number 6 with Surf. I don't know why the fuck he keeps doing it. You're really catering to this watery effects for Gunna. Like, this also sounds like a video game instrumental. I'm sorry, I'm being stupid right now, but I don't know why this beat is reminding me, like, if you put this over that Grinch meme, that Grinch gif, I feel like he would be coming in like doing this shit the whole time over this beat. Like, there's nothing else for you to do. They came with the shred. I told them to chop off your penis, you keep in your head. Excuse me, my wife goes to church every day. Oh, why the fuck do you sound like a zombie? You're like at a beach right now. Have some fun. I don't know if Gunna's just too cool to rap. Like he's actually, you know, got a heart that pumps blood into his body. And he's not like a cold fucking shark swimming around trying to find his next meal. And this track, I mean, like, these last 3 tracks have just been examples of what I don't want from Thug, which is for him to just rap like a rapper. It's like, I don't want him to rap, you know? I don't want to hear, you know, I don't want you to try to put together, you know, double, triple entendres. I don't want you to try to rap like the typical rapper. Like, your thing to me, his niche is shit, like, that vocal pattern, that effect that no other rapper is able to reach, that range that no other artist is able to tap into, and that effect and that harmony that so many other people have tried to copy since he came out. That's what I want to hear, but like here I just feel like it's muted. Track number 7 is Bad Bad Bad. Yo, well, these are his artists, right? Didn't he put Lil Baby and Gunna on? Or am I tripping? I think I'm tripping. Aren't they YSL? You want to rap it, let you ride it, know you're rap, and you're bad, bad, bad. Don't plan, no advantage, you got $1 billion corporation fuckers, and I got see that little stop he did before he kept. Yeah, you my dog, so it's the little things. This track is more about, you know, flows and whose vocals you pretty much prefer. I don't know if we've always gotten auto-tune over Lil Baby. So that was a little weird, or maybe I'm just now hearing it. I just don't really pay attention to him like that. But this track is okay. Very, you know, the thing that really carries it is these two. You know, nothing else is going on with production for the most part. I think Wheezy is on it again, and you know, really the thing that makes it interesting is really, really fast hi-hats. Like, that's the only thing that makes this track, like, interesting to me as far as the production is concerned. Number 8 is Lil Baby. So we've gotten, like, 4 tracks already on this project sacrificed to Gunna and Lil Baby, so. Right? Come on, man. You pulled your dick out and skeeted on the cement. I get it, though. Like, semen on cement. That's not gonna work. I'm sorry. I love that he's transitioning into his upper register so smoothly. I love that. And like I said, for the last track, I know people like, there are people that have like zero, they think you're like one-dimensional and you can't just like certain parts of a track and then overall not love the track. So they think, oh shit, you were enjoying it at first, but now you're not. Like, what happened? Like, no, I just like the beginning, and then other parts of the song made me not love the whole thing. Fucking think. Anyway, this track right here was just cool, you know. Again, it's kind of got that similar effect that the last track did, where it's just rapping, nothing really interesting is happening with the beat. It does sound very spacey. It is pretty trap, but that's about it. As far as Thug is concerned, if this track were shorter or a little bit more condensed, I think I like it more, because he creates almost a bit of an arpeggio with his voice in a way. And just going and transitioning up into that upper register and then kind of sliding back down and doing it over and over again is cool to me. I just don't think it should happen so many times in the track. But, you know, I could play this again, you know. I'm not a stickler about it, but it's cool, you know. I'm not going to go back to it on purpose. Track number 9, What's the Move, featuring Lil Uzi. This instrumental is just awkward. It's like if Donkey Kong died and went to heaven, and this is what he's going after. Like, he's chasing a bunch of bananas, and God's just sitting there judging him. Like, he still let him in heaven, but he's still judging him. Like, yo, you a grown-ass man. That's crazy. No bananas in this heaven anyway, bro. You don't even need to eat. Why are you chasing those? Like, the instrumental sounds really, really, really happy. Like, suspiciously happy. Richer than your first, richer than your last. LUV, no, I got swag. Yeah, I mean, from what I can tell, you know, this is kind of relationship inspired, but, I mean, I would have liked to hear a little bit more from Uzi. I'm not getting any of that shit that I normally love from Young Thug. Like, that emphasis on vocal acrobatics is just not present yet. And these beats certainly aren't doing anything to make me more interested in the album. Like I said, if I'm here for anything, it's Thug, but for the moment, that's about it. Track number 10, I Bought Her, featuring Lil Duke.
I bought her a lot of ass. My seat no longer sad. I had the daughter come see me, I thought it was voodoo. I left the car parked outside of the boogaloo. You don't gon' need speed, I just been moving.
Fam, I'm sorry, okay? I know you're gonna call me a hater. Stop. You's a bitch. You a sensitive bitch. That's all you are. I'm not a hater. You's a bitch. It's just so ABC right now. Like, I get it. I know what he's doing. It's the flow. It's popular. But, like, A, B, C. Ah, da, 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 da. Ah, da, 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 da. Ah, da, da, da. Like, come on. Really? That's what I like. That right there. That right there is great. Is Lil Duke YSL too? Because y'all remember Forever Ever on Trippie Redd's Life's a Trip album, where Young Thug and Trippie and there was someone else. I'm forgetting them. I'm sorry about that. They created a soulful, rhythmic, love-inspired harmony with their collaboration, and it sounded beautiful. But what Lil Duke was doing at the end of that track, easily I felt like could have been done by Trippie Redd. I think Trippie Redd would have been a perfect fit for something like that. Those yelping vocals that kind of like come out of nowhere. I think he could have been a better fit for that. Hey, y'all let me know if you like it. You know, I'm probably not going to return to it, honestly. These aren't terrible tracks. There's just nothing about them that's just making me like, wow. Track number 11 is Jumped Out the Window.
Run 'cause I had mids in my sock. Doors in the street, they trying to stop them.
This sounds like some 8-bit Mario playing in the background.
With the Zoes, they my family, they my ops. Cooking, watch you roll, daddy at your brownie.
That track sounds like it looks like Beetlejuice, but I like it. The track is ugly. It's really weird instrumental. I can imagine Young Thug making a really strange expression while he's rapping the whole time. I don't know why. It just feels like free of any real thought or any real direction. I mean, even though the beat has a pattern, Young Thug just kind of seems a little uncontrolled on this track, and it works, you know, because he's saying he jump out the window, he's running from something, he's running from the cops, he's leading them to his hood or whatever. You know, I think that's cool. You know, I think it's a cool kind of, you know, or did he say op? He might have said op. I think it's like a cool escape. It's definitely a refreshing sound compared to the monotony I feel like we've gotten for the last few tracks so far. Next track we got I'm Scared with 21 Savage and Doughboy. Sounds like some Pierre Bourne shit.
Now he out like a light. Somebody tell Oprah I want wife. I'm a trending fact. She let me know that her job would've hit raw, but she ain't have wild. 21. This ain't middle school when you sucking on me. Please include the ball gun. That hanging off my tits.
What?
I just bust off in her jaw.
All right, that was I'm Scared. I wasn't really scared, more like disgusted. You know, filling bitches' mouths up with semen. You know, a regular day in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I feel like they're taking some of these beats and they're taking a bit too of a traditional approach to them, you know, and that's for me what's making them so reminiscent of what I've already heard in the landscape, what's making them reminiscent of their own creations, what they've done in the past before. I feel like they're playing it kind of safe. Track number 13 is Cartier Gucci Scarf featuring Lil Duke again. That's what I'm like, right there. This dude's talking with the bottom of his jaw. I can hear it. That's funny though. I like that. I like that track. You know, I like that. I'll play that again. Very animated vocals from both of them, honestly. I don't know why Lil Duke was rapping like that, but that's comedy to me. It's interesting. It's something different, new on a track. So I can get with that. I can at least listen to it with a new set of ears. Young Thug, higher pitched vocals, definitely some faster flows, but not too fast to the point where you can't hear what he's saying. I like it. Track number 14 is Big Tipper featuring Lil Keed. Yes, transitions in the beat. Yeah. Yeah. It's my first time really hearing Lil Keed. I don't want to experience that again. This is one of the few tracks I think it actually works to Young Thug's benefit. I think he's got a good flow on his track. There's a couple little small transitions in the beat that are kind of surprising. They don't last too long, but they're nice. They're nice little added additions to the track. Outside of a couple tracks that I've heard so far, Young Thug's appeal isn't the standard rapper, but he's regular rapping on a good portion of these tracks. And the reason I'm not really trying to hear Young Thug rap is because he doesn't have shit to say, usually. So I like that he does the vocal acrobatic shit on the side to keep me invested and interested, but I'm not getting too much of that here. It just doesn't strike me as a Young Thug track. It strikes me as a trap track. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like Young Thug has his stamp specifically on this song. Track number 15 is Pussy.
Let us suck all on your neck. Use a bitch.
Yeah. This is great. This instrumental. His vocals.
Jump in the back. This is a bulletproof leg.
Use a pussy, nigga. Use a pussy.
He owe me bands. Suck you some dick on shooting your man, Jack.
Oh my God. I had a lot of fun listening to that track. And strangely enough, you know what? That's one of the tracks that doesn't need that many transitions because it's just so loud and hypnotic on its own to me. The minute the track starts, it's already in drive. So there's no real build up to it. It's just in constant motion, constant speed from the start. I love it. Track number 16 is Circle of Bosses featuring Quavo. Young Thug is behaving like he's like in effect, and it's great.
Like blew out the Hondas that spread. Like to me a titan. Heard a heart with no near spawn, then I'ma watch it like Wi-Fi. I got a care in my office. You ever seen a carcass? Go to the big arsenal.
I'm liking it. It's pretty good. I like Thug when it comes to using his voice in that way. It just comes off the track really, really effortlessly, really smooth. Like using his voice in that way, almost like an effect over the song as opposed to needing an extra instrument. You can just use Thug, and I think that's great. I like the strings in that track too. Quavo isn't a bad feature on the song either, so I can hear it again. Track number 17, Mannequin Challenge featuring Juice WRLD. Why the grandma though? Why can't you leave her out of it? Yeah, I like what Juice WRLD had to bring to that track, man. It was a nice change in pace, a nice change of voice. Next track, we got Boy Back featuring Nav. Oh, God.
Got a big bankroll on me. Got a coupe up power seats. Picking up for my future. Came up living day to day.
You can make an argument that every person who's popular right now is an industry plant. But if I had to die on a hill and try to like force an argument, Nav would definitely be the artist that I'd be like, you know what? Why the fuck is he here? That was Young Thug's album. So much fun. We've heard the final track a million times. Honestly, the London is a good track compared to a lot of the other stuff on here. J. Cole is so refreshing on majority of this project. He really is. I guess here's my thing. Young Thug, his appeal has never been lyrics, concept, ideas, any kind of deep, socially acceptable or woke message. You know, it's never been anything like that. It's always been him being this super exuberant, super unpredictable, super acrobatic vocally, almost like a chameleon of sorts when it comes to the way he raps and how comfortable he is rapping in certain pockets and how comfortable he is rapping in certain vocal inflections and using his voice essentially as an effect for the track and making himself be the most organic, really the most enjoyable part of a song, even with trap production. And that's rare to find artists that don't rely heavily on their production to carry them. They have enough vocal personality on their own to complete a song, and I think that's something that's pretty good that you might not expect from someone who's as lyrically absent as Young Thug tends to be. But on this album, So Much Fun, there's a lot of fun being had, and I don't think there's as much attention being paid to what Young Thug's appeal is, at least in my opinion. When I listen to Thug, I'm not listening to a rapper. I don't want to hear the average trap artists over trap production, because that's what's failed so many of these artists in the past and why we get so many artists that sound so similar, why it's so hard for certain artists to find a sound and find a vocal personality and continue a long career with it, a career that has some longevity. Young Thug is one of those artists that's done that, and even his own artists sound like him. When he features someone on this project, they sound similar to him. They're using similar vocal cadences, and they're trying in a way, in my opinion, to kind of follow his rhythm, his technique, and they're always failing at it because he's perfected it. But with this album, it's like Young Thug has lost, not really lost, but is using a different method as the entertainment for this project, which is usually production or his flow. And since I'm a guy that knows Young Thug doesn't really deliver in either of those departments when it comes to what he raps about, the flows aren't necessarily bad, but they're really ABC a lot of times. A lot of the times they're really predictable. The vocal passages that he chooses aren't that crazy or aren't that out of the world that you would be like, oh shit, let's go hear that new Thug. I can't believe he's dropping something new, some new heat. But with this album, it just doesn't seem to happen that often. The production on this album is pretty explosive. I do give credit to the producers. We see, I believe, Weezy on a good portion of these tracks. I'm really surprised that DJ Mustard had production on that Nav track, because it didn't sound like him at all. But I think we also have got production. I'm surprised there wasn't any production from Metro. There may be, it just may not have been a specific track just wholly produced by him. I'm shocked that there's no Travis Scott feature, and I mean just a track with Travis Scott. There are some instrumentals here that remind me of video games. There's some instrumentals here that are just basic trap shit. There's some instrumentals here that are inspired by electronic music, and some of them do contain some layers. But for the most part, a good portion of why I've liked a lot of Young Thug music has never really been his production or his features. It's always been, how the fuck is this dude gonna fit into this crevice? That's how Young Thug raps. And here I just feel like it's a straight line, and he knows it's just a really long ass hallway, and he's just running down the hallway on every track. That's how I feel on a lot of these. Now, is it bad because it's not necessarily what I feel Young Thug's appeal is? No. I think on the best day for a lot of these tracks, they're on par with or sometimes better than what you get from the average trap rapper. I do think the album sounds like an album. It definitely doesn't sound rough around the edges. It doesn't sound like a mixtape or anything. It definitely sounds way more refined. I just don't think the perfection of Thug is really found on this project vocally. But honestly, the tracks I see myself returning to is Pussy, obviously, the London, Ecstasy, and Just How It Is. Everything else on this track listing is okay. So, I mean, I guess that's a success story. And I'm not gonna hate too hard on Nav. I think listening to the whole album, hearing another verse just kind of gets a little tedious, so I'm already tired by the end. I do think another one of his styles is kind of the trap balladry in a way, where he's kind of lovey-dovey over slower trap instrumentals. I think that's where he's in his bag, and I don't really get too much of that on him on this album either. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling on it, you know. Young Thug with So Much Fun, at least on par with everything else in the landscape. If you're looking for Young Thug to perfect his vocal styles and his range, I don't really think that this is the project for that. He comes off as more of a rapper than who I feel gave me vintage Thug. Don't get me wrong, there are elements of him peeking through a good portion on this project, because generally when he's trying to rap, I have to ignore what he says because there's never anything meaningful or insightful in his lyrics. But that's how I'm feeling. Let me know how you feel about it in the comment section down below, and I'll see y'all next time. I'm out. Peace.